Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's talk about SOUNDHOUND AI. Something critical happened this week with SOUNDHOUND. I do believe we will see $20 and beyond. I did buy, my cat's crying on my door. I did buy a ton of shares at $11, and I'm just going to sit on the position, and I'm playing the weekly crossover. So that means I'm going to hold for at least 5 weeks, and then from there I'll assess and see what's going on. But for the time being, I've shown this pattern before. If we're just trading off, we don't need to look at the fundamentals. They have the growing revenues. There's demand for their service and products. That's why their revenues continue to double. But every time that weekly crossover has happened, we go sideways and eventually pump. Pump. Sideways, pump. Where's the other one? Crossover here, go sideways, pump. Now, these are weekly time frames, so these are all weeks where we just went nowhere, where we just kept dipping and then pumping and then just kind of stayed in a range, right? So if you see it come down, it's not time to be scared. It's time to buy the dip. But then eventually we got that big pump again to $10 here. Crossover happened, pumped here, and then went sideways and then had the big run, right, to 25. And thus the cycles have been repeating, so it's going sideways again. It's doing the same thing as last time. Crossover happened. I bought it at 11. It's going sideways here. It's been 3 weeks now of sideways action. So within the next 2 weeks, we might get a pretty decent pump. Maybe because if we break 1250, and we can go to 15 at that point, because that's the next big level. We break 16, we go to 20. So, and then we break 20, we go to 25. Because once the pump starts happening like this, or any one of these other ones, it's just going to keep going week after week, as you can see, and it's going to run away from the people that are buying right now, nice and cheap. This week was important too because it did come down as low as 920, and it held on a nice green candle here, which is what you wanted to see. Because as long as it continues going sideways like it always has after that crossover, we're good. Also on the monthly time frame, we did cross under on the monthly time frame. Funny enough, we did cross under. But the fact that we closed green could signal that we're going to reject off of this and we're going to go higher. If that makes sense. Because this happened last time, right? We came down under it right here, and then we rejected. It was a fake cross under, and it was actually nothing more than a buying opportunity, and then eventually we had that big run, right? So that big run to $10. So it almost seems like it's repeating, right? Cross under happens on the monthly. Green week candle close. We still got 3 more weeks of June, so we'll see what happens. But this should get rejected. It should be another fake out, and we will eventually see another big pop. So yeah, we're using the weekly and monthly signals to get in our buy opportunities more than anything. Yeah, because right now everything's been pumping, and a lot of stocks are above the 200. So that's why I keep telling people, like, you should buy when it's under the 200, because once they start moving up and away from the 200, you're not going to want to buy at 15 or at 20, because you're going to look back at 10s and be like, oh, that was so cheap back then at 10 when same thing with Riot. When it's at 12 to 15, you're going to be like, oh my god, $6 was such a discount. Why didn't I buy? I've been there. That's how I know. So SOUNDHOUND's like the big play right now. That's why I added the big position on SOUNDHOUND, and I'm just gonna sit on it. In 2 weeks, we're gonna analyze again and see what's going on. Cause after like 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 2 more weeks, probably towards the end of June. We'll check on the weekly crossover and see what's been happening. But here, crossover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We made a decent move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. We made a move from the crossover at 7 to 17. So that's a $10 move. Here the crossover happened, and then after 5 weeks we just went sideways, 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 and then we pumped again. So either way, that crossover, notice how these crossovers on the weekly always signal a bottom. That's the most important thing, as long as we don't start trending downward. So it's a very powerful signal. Same thing here, another crossover on the weekly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, and it went from the crossover signal at 235 to a high of 10. Again, these are weekly time frames, so it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take months. And people, you know how they are. They don't want to wait months for 50% or more. So short-term price target, and by short-term I mean, I guess if you're literally flipping it, probably just flip it for like 10-20% at $11 or $12. If you're looking for something more medium-term, then I would look for 15 to 16 for a nice 50%er. And if you're looking more long-term, 25 would be the next, that's the all-time highs really, would be the next level. And if you're looking to invest, probably you shoot for 100 plus at that point.